So what is an array and why do you want to use it? Array. So what is an array? Array is a collection of similar elements. Array is a collection of array is a collection of similar elements. Array is a collection of similar elements where memory is allocated sequentially. Memory for the elements is allocated sequentially. Array is a collection of similar elements where memory for the elements is allocated sequentially. Elements in the array are referred using index. Elements in the array are referred using index. Index value starts with array is a collection of similar elements. Memory for the elements is allocated sequentially. Elements in the array are referred using index. Index value start with a 0. Now I am trying to give you syntax. Syntax I am giving integer. What is the syntax? Data type, array name, array name equal to new data type. Now what I am giving it? Data type, array name equal to new data type size. The data type can be a primitive. The data type can be a reference. Primitive or user defined. The data type can be a primitive or user defined. Look at the format. Integer, string, decimal, salaries. Now, did you assign any memory for it? You have not assigned any memory. If you don't assign any memory, what is the value? Null. What is the value? Null. Then I'm giving. It is not empty, it is null. It is not empty. Empty means what? Memory is there but no values. It is empty. Null means what? You didn't allocate the memory itself. Now all these three are what? Null. All these three are what? Null. It is not empty, it is null. All of them are not empty, they are what? Null. So what I am doing? If you want to allocate the memory, I am going to take integer age is equal to string name is equal to, this is how we created array of elements. Once you created elements, how do you assign the value? We can assign the value in two ways. We can assign the values in two ways. What are the two ways in which we can assign? First one, integer age is equal to new integer 10, 20, 30. What I am doing? Static allocation. What is it called? Static allocation. At the time of creating the array itself, if you are assigning the values, it is called as what? Static allocation. We are assigning the values at the time of creating an array. String name is equal to new string it is static allocation. Assigning the values at the time of creating the array, it is called as what? Static allocation. Assigning the values at the time of creating an array is called static allocation. So what we call this as static allocation. What is the meaning of static allocation? Assigning the values at the time of creating an array. Assigning the values at the time of creating an array is called static allocation. Now, dynamic allocation. Assigning the values at the runtime of the program. Dynamic allocation. What is the meaning of dynamic allocation? Assigning the values at the time of the runtime of the program. Assigning the values at the runtime of the program. How do you assign the value at the runtime of the program? Look at this. Integer age is equal to. When you say integer age is equal to new integer, internally what happened? Memory is allocated for. Memory is allocated for. Memory is allocated for 4 units. Static allocation. Memory is allocated for 4 units. This is a static allocation. How the elements in the array are referred? How the elements are referred? Now, at the time of creating the array, we have not assigned the values. If you don't assign any values, what happened? Null is fixed. What is the value that is fixed here? Null. So when you say dynamic allocation, first we created an array with a given size. Then the memory is allocated for the elements. Now we are going to set the values using index. Ages of 0 equal to 90. Ages of 2 equal to 30. Ages of 2 equal to. We are setting the values based on what? Index. How the elements are stored. We are going to assign the values based on index. We are going to assign the values based on index. When I give this, ages of 0, 90. Ages of 0, 90. Ages of 2, 30. Ages of 2, 40. Ages of 3 is what? How the elements are assigned based on index. Ages of 3 equal to 30. Ages of 2 equal to 40. So how the elements are referred dynamically? Based on index. How the elements are referred dynamically? Based on index. Based on index they are referred. So we are creating an array, assigning the values dynamically based on index. Assign the values based on index. Let us see one more example. Create an array to store employee names. Create an array to store employee names. Employee names. I told 5. When it is size 5, number is selected. This is how we are taking. Memory is allocated. All the values are going to be null initially. How we are going to assign the values? Using index. Names of 0 equal to Shah. Names of 1 equal to Ravi. Names of 2 equal to Kiran. This is how we are saying. This is how we assign. So values are assigned using what? Index. Values are assigned using what? Index. We are going to assign the value based on index. Values are assigned using index. So 0 we have Sham. we have Sham, Ravi, Prasad. Fourth position we have null. This is how we have created. So array we have created. Whenever you create an array, first the memory is allocated. Based on the size the memory is allocated, then we are going to store the value. If you don't use that location, it's still left with the null. I have only 4 elements, but the fifth space is left as blank. I cannot reduce it. I cannot remove the space because the size of an array is fixed. Once we give the size, it is fixed. We cannot increase or decrease. We cannot increase or decrease. This is how we have created an array, and the elements in the array are stored. I hope you are clear. Now, how to display the elements in the array? Let's do this format. How to display the elements in the array? We are going for it. Let me take an example. Now I am creating integer age is equal to this is how we call it. Ages of 0, ages of 1, ages of 2, ages of 3. So we are going to take string, then look at the format. Integer I equal to 0, I less than ages dot size. When I say ages dot size, how many elements are there in ages? How many elements are there in ages? There are 4 elements. So when I say size, number of elements in the array, there are 4. So I equal to 0, I is less than 4, I plus plus. So what I am doing? Trying to print system dot debug. System dot debug. How do you print the value? Ages of I. When I say ages of I, what is the first value? First time I equal to, when I equal to 0, it's going to print. When I say I equal to 0, it's going to print ages of, what is the ages of 0? Second time it goes I equal to 1, which means ages of 1. When it's ages of 1, it gets 20. Third one takes ages of 2, ages of 3, ages of 2, ages of 3. Like this we are going to get. I hope I am clear with this format. People are clear? So what is the value that we are going to get? 10, 20, 30, 40. Like this the values are printed. Execute. When you print on the execute, then go back here. I will debug. Support the values what we are getting 10, 20, 30, 40. So how the elements in the array are referred? By using a for loop. Why you are taking a for loop? Because it's a group of elements. It's not a single element, it's a group of elements. When you have a group of elements, you have to refer to them by using what? For loop. Based on index I am going to refer. So I equal to 0. I told array index value will start with 0. When I say ages of 0, referring to the 0 element. Element at the 0 position. Ages of 1, referring to the element at 1 position in the ages. Are you clear about this? People have followed? People have followed? Right. Next one. I want to take one more example. I want to create an array of, next one. I want to take array of elements and I want to print the sum of elements. So what I am taking? Create an array to store salaries, salary values, and print the grand sum. Create an array to store salaries, salary value, and print the grand sum. So initially, what is the grand sum? What is the grand sum? Initially, we are considering sum equal to. Initially, what is the sum value? 0. Now, what I want to take? I want to take array of salaries. Decimal. Salaries equal to new decimal. 1000. This is the group of salaries. Now, how do you sum up? You want to take one by one value. Grand summary means what? Salary at the 0 position plus, salary at the first position plus, second position plus, third position plus, fourth position. We are trying to sum up the value. How do you sum up the value? For integer I equal to 0. Why you are taking I equal to 0? In the array, Index value will start with a 0. So salaries of 0, salaries of 1, salaries of 2, like that we have to take. I is less than salaries dot I plus plus. Now we are going to make sum equal to sum plus salaries of I. Sum equal to sum plus salaries of I. Sum equal to sum plus salaries of I. This is going to make it. So how the value is going to be? I equal to 0. If I equal to 0, sum equal to, what is the value of sum? 0. 0 plus salaries of 0. Now it has become 1000. Now when it goes to the next loop, I equal to 1. I equal to 1 means sum equal to sum. What is the sum value? 1000. 1000 plus salaries. Like this is going to keep adding up. I hope you are clear. I am taking an array of elements, finding out the sum of the elements. Taking out the array of elements, finding out the sum of elements. People have followed this. I created an array referring to one by one element, added all the values to a sum. People have followed this requirement. So let me run it. Go back, see the grand total. So why you are not getting the sum? I have not printed the value. Go back, system dot debug. Go back and see. Got 10,000. The value is 10,000. Why it is coming as 10,000? 1000 plus 2, 3 plus 3 plus 6. Okay. Now we have taken this. People have followed this. People have followed. Now I want to find out minimum value. I want to take a list of ages, create an array to store age values, create an array to store ages, and find the minimum age from the. I'm going to create an array of ages. From the array of ages, what I want to find out? Minimum age. So how do you create ages? Integer. Age is equal to integer. I'm creating a static values. 10, 30, 20. This is how I take it. Now I want to find out the ages. When you want to find out the ages, I am considering so how the values are stored. How the values are stored. Internally the values are going to be stored. This is how the values are stored. The values are internally stored in this format. When the values are stored internally in this format, so how you are referring? First, we are taking integer minimum value equal to ages of 0. We are taking the first value as minimum value. The first value we are taking as minimum value. We are assuming that the first value is minimum. Then what I am doing? I will compare the first value with the second value. If second value is smaller than first value, then say minimum equal to second value. Then I am going to compare third value with the minimum value. If third value is less than minimum, then make minimum equal to third value. So I am assuming first value is the smallest value. Then what I am doing? I am going to compare from the second element. If you want to compare from the second element, I equal to 1, I is less than ages dot size, I plus plus. Then in that case, what I am doing? Compare. What is the comparison? If ages of I less than, then minimum equal to ages of I. So what is the meaning of this? Let us see. What is the value of I? First time when I am running, I equal to 1, which means age is of 1, which is nothing but 30. So what is the condition? If 10 is, if 30 is less than 10, what is the condition? Condition is false. If the condition is false, will it run? When this logic in the if will run? Logic in the if will run only when the condition is true. Then okay, not completed. Then go to the second one. What is the value of I? I equal to, when I equal to, what is it? Ages of, I have to make ages of, when I say ages of 2, what is the value of ages of 2? 5. What is the condition? If 5 less than 10. 5 less than 10. Condition is 2. When the condition is 2, what I want to do? When the condition is 2, I told minimum equal to ages of. So what is the value of minimum now? What is the value of minimum? The value of minimum equal to 5. The value of minimum equal to 5. Min equal to 5. Then next one. Loop is going. What is the value of I? I equal to 3. When I equal to 3, what is the value? Ages of 3. What is ages of 3? 15. When 15, if 5, okay, if 15 is less than 5, we are going to implement logic. But is 15 is less than 5? No. So now I equal to 4. Is the 4 is less than 4? Right? No. So what happened? The condition will break. When the condition breaks and print the value, what is the value of min? System.debug. So what is the minimum value we are getting? Are you getting my point here? So I am comparing the value with the next value. If next value is less than, if minimum value is less than, if the next value is less than minimum value, change the minimum value. Now I am assuming first value is the minimum value, compare it with the second element. If second is less than minimum, change the minimum value. If third is less than minimum, change the minimum value. If fourth is less than the minimum, change the minimum value. I hope you are clear. People have followed this. The complete list, set, map are going to work on this condition. The concept of list, set, map is going to work on this condition. Listen carefully. Now, I created a class, public class, student, public string name, string name and branch. Now we have created student S1 equal to new student. We created. The moment is said student S1 equal to new student, memory is selected. Memory is selected. Memory is selected for who? S1 dot name. S1 dot name, S1 dot branch. This is what we need. We got here. Like this we create. S1 dot name, S1 dot branch. Memory is allocated and this memory is separated by. We are assuming that this memory is some address called 400. We are assuming that this is an address of 400. We are assuming that this is an address of 400. So memory is allocated. We are assuming that address is 400, which is referred by S1. Now what I am doing? Student S2 equal to. When I say student S2 equal to S1, S2 is also what? Reference variable, which will refer to the reference, not the value. S2 is also what? Reference variable, which means it is going to refer to the reference, not the memory location. When I say now S2 dot name, that means S2 also referring to the same location. S2 is referring to the same location what S1 is referring. S2 is referring to the same location to which S1 is referring. So when I say S2 equal to S1, S2 dot name equal to Kiran, S2 dot branch equal to SR. So S2 is also referring to the location of S1. S1 is a reference variable. S1 is going to refer to any one of the memory. Whichever the memory S1 is referring to the same memory S2 is also referring. That means S2 dot name equal to Kiran, S2 dot branch equal to SR. Suppose if I say S2 dot name equal to SR, then what happened? The memory value is location, we are going to lose it. We could have, are getting my point here? So S2 and S1 are referring to the same location. Unless I use a new keyword, no memory will be allocated. Only when I use the new keyword, memory will be allocated. The reference of that memory is referred by reference variable. If two variables are referring to the same memory, both of them are referring to the same data. People have followed this point? People have followed this point? So when I say student S3 equal to S1, S3 equal to, what does it mean? Student S3 is referring to which location? Reference of S2. To whichever the location S2 is referring, to the same location S3 is also referring. Student S4 equal to S1. When I say student S4 equal to S1, what does it mean? Whatever the memory that S1 is referring, the same memory S4 is also referring. So I can refer to the Kiran and SR Nagar by using S1, S2, S3, S4. S1 dot name Kiran, S2 dot name Kiran, S3 dot name Kiran, S4 dot name Kiran, S1 dot branch SR Nagar, S2 dot branch SR Nagar, S3 dot branch SR Nagar, S4 dot branch SR Nagar. People have followed. Right? If all the reference variables are referring to the same location, that means they are referring to the same data. Are you clear about this point? Clear about this point? People have followed? People have followed this point? Right. Now, similarly, let me give you. Next, understand this point. Understand carefully now. Student I allocated a memory. It is an array of elements where I am giving student S1 equal to S1 dot name. Like this we create. Now what I am doing? Students of 0 equal to S1. Students of 0 equal to S1. Students of 0 equal to S1. What does it mean? We allocated a memory. Initially, what values are there in the memory? Initially, what values will be there? Null values are there. So when I create an array, like this, we create index 0, 1. Then what did you create? Student S1 equal to new student. So automatically memory is allocated. Memory is allocated. For what? Name and branch. Right. And this is referred by what? This one is referring to that memory. Now I told students of 0 equal to students of 0 equal S1. So whatever the memory that S1 is referring, students of 0 is also referring to what? Same memory. If both of them are referring to the same memory, can I call it like this? Students of 0 dot name. What is the students of 0 dot name? Kiran. Did the people get it? Now I told student S2 equal to S1 means S2 and S1 both are referring to the same data. Now I told students of 0 equal to S1. Students of 0 and S1 both are referring to what? Same location. So both of them are referring to same location. I can say S1 dot name, S1 dot phone number, or I can say students of 0 dot name, students of 0 dot branch. Both are referring to the same location. Again I am creating one more. Student S2 equal to so when I say student S2 equal to new student, memory is selected. What is the value in the memory? What the data links? This is referred by this. This memory is referred by this. Then I told students of 2 equal to. I told students of 2 equal to, or students of 3 equal to. So students of 3, this is referring to which value? This is referring to. So how can I refer this? Now if I want to refer, I can say S2 dot name, S2 dot phone, or else I can also refer the same data by using what? Students. Students of 3 dot. This is how we create. People have followed this. Students of 3 dot name, students of 3 dot 4. Because both are referring to the same. Students of 3 and S2, both are what? Referring to the same data. I told you already. If I create like this, I told S3 and S2 both are referring to the same. Here also, students of 3 and S2 both are referring to the same value. This is how the values are referred using arrays. Array of proper class. Array of proper class. So in the array, what is stored? Reference of the locations are stored. When I take array of proper class, what is stored in the array? It is not the values which are stored in this array. Because you are referring to the array of student proper class, it is not referring to the values, it is referring to the reference of the location. It is referring to what? Reference of the location. People are clear? Now I can also give the same thing like this. Students of, it is a students of 2 is referring to what? Reference location equal to new. When is a new student, what happened? When is a new student? Nobody is referring. But did we give any name for this? We are not given any name. Straight away I told students of 2 equal to in that location refer to this memory. New means memory is selected. New means memory is selected. This memory is straight away stored. What is this memory? Let us say 400. This memory is straight away stored here. We can also assign direct value instead of creating S1, assigning them to students of 2 like that. We can straight away go with the students of 2 equal to new student. Then how do you assign the value? So we have created the value. Here, directly I created a student and I refer that value in the students of 2. People are clear? Let me explain one more example. Did the people follow these points? Let me create one more example. Let me create one more example. So I have a wrapper class. Or let us say I have account. I am referring to account. Account ACCS equal to like this we create. The moment I create array of accounts, how the memory is allocated? Memory is selected. What is this value? Memory for 4 elements is allocated. Yeah. Null. Null. You created here. Like this we create. First I am creating A1 equal to the moment say A1 equal to new account, memory is allocated. I told A1 dot name equal to then what happened? Memory is allocated. This memory is referred with the A1. We have name, we have rating, then we got one more account A2 equal to then one more memory is allocated. Rating equal to 1. Clear any queries? People have followed this basic section. I created 2 account objects. I created an array of account. So what I am saying now? What I am saying? Look at the format. I am giving here ACCS, which is array. In the array, how you refer the elements? Using index. Equal to what does it mean? Whatever the memory that A1 is referring, refer to the same memory in the ACCS of 0. So for your understanding, easy understanding, I will say this memory location is 400. So what is that ACCS of 0 is referring? Right? A1 is referring to the address of 400. So ACCS of 0 is also referring to what address? 400. We are assuming it. Okay. Now next I give ACCS of 1 equal to ACCS of 1 equal to I give. Now A2 is referring to this is A2. It is the location of let us say 600. Now ACCS of 1 is referring to what? So both of them are referring to the same value. Both of them are referring to the same address. Address, not value. Address. Both of them are referring to the same address. Let's say next we have. Now I have next one. Look at the point. Account A3 equal to A1. I told account A3 equal to A1. Then I am giving here ACCS of 2 equal to ACCS of ACCS of 2 equal to A3. What is A3? A1. Whatever the address that A1 is referring, it's same. So in the ACCS of 2, what is stored now? What is stored? Original is what? Address of A1. Are you clear? Then I give next one. Account A4 equal to. And I'm giving ACCS of 3 equal to. Now, ACCS of 3 is referring to what? A4. What is A4? A4 is nothing but? A4 is nothing but address of A2. What is the address of A2? 6. So, they are reference variables. To whichever the location they are referring, same value. But in the array, how many elements are there? 4 elements are there. Array contains 4 elements. But there is no question that they should not have duplicates. Yes, they can have duplicate. They can have duplicate. Okay. At the first position and third position, same elements are there. At 0 position, second position, same elements are there. There is no question that array cannot have duplicates. Are you getting my point? It is an array of elements. So my point here is, boss, array is internally storing to what? Reference location of the data. Whenever you take array of sObject, whenever you take array of sObject, they are referring to what? Reference location. They are referring to what? Reference location. They are referring to what? Reference location. People have followed this? Right. Now, when you want to use these values, how do you write a for loop? Look at the format. I want to write a for loop. How do you want to write a for loop? Look at the format. For what type of array is this? Array of accounts. So in the array of accounts, what type of elements are stored? It's a group of accounts. One by one account I have to take it. So because it's a group of account, I will take account A. What is the name of the array? ACCS. What is the name of the array? ACCS. Account A, ACCS. Now what is that A referring to? A will refer to the first value. A will refer to what? First position. When you say A, account A, ACCS. A is taking the first value from ACCS. Now I told system.debug A dot. Now, this is what is. So, A is referring to what? A is nothing but 400. What is A? 400. So, A dot name, Wipro. A dot rating, hot. Then completed. Once it is completed, what happens? Completed. Remove this A. Remove this A. Give the A to the next one. What is the A now? Now, A is referring to what? 600. So, A dot name is yes. A dot rating, wow. Once it's completed, go to the next. Go to the next. What is the A? 400. A dot name, Wipro. A dot rating, hot. What is the next? A is referring to what? 600. A dot name, TCS. A dot rating, wow. Do the people follow? Do the people follow? So how we are referring? It is an array of account A, colon, array name. So what the A is doing? Referring to the first element name, first element rating. Go to the second element name, second element rating, third element, fourth element. So what are stored in that array? Reference. When you say account A is referring to that reference variable. A is referring to that location name, that location rating. I hope you are clear. People have followed this example. Any query on this? Any query on this? This is what we call it as what?